Well, tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters marched through downtown Washington, D.C. to demand immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The crowd waved Palestinian flags, carried posters and chanted slogans during the National March on Washington. Meanwhile, pro-Palestinian protesters also staged protests in several parts of the world like London, Berlin, Paris, Ankara and Istanbul. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, defense expert, with us on the program as well. Commander Bakshi, a very good morning to you, sir. I hope you can hear me. Commander Bakshi?
I can hear you.
Sir,
can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you now. Well, sir, the world is obviously divided when it comes to support for Israel or Palestine. But should this support for Palestine be also construed as support for Hamas? Because at this point in time, any civilization, anybody with a pragmatic mind would, try and reason as to why you cannot separate Hamas from the Gaza Strip.
Yes, Vineet, but the tragedy is that this is a very, very unexpected lean of the name, the mental leaning of people, mass. That is basically, they'll all give you, most of them will give you what is wrong with Hamas. They will say that, but they will not oppose Hamas. I am talking of a lot of radicalized Islamic nations. The other nations will keep quiet. The radicalized Islamic nation will support Hamas. And that is what is happening. Even if they are not very physical, they are vociferous about it. And this is a direct, it is right throughout the globe. It is a biggest breach amongst humanity, and that is this religion. And that is carrying on for the thousands of years. The manifestations are modern now. The effect is now, which it will soon be forgotten. Mentally we'll forget it after about 20 years. This will be a forgotten incident. But question is, this is going to happen more and more in serious circumstances, especially in Europe, where so many refugees have entered, and they are all demanding their rights as a radical Islam. They are even wanting Sharia law. They are wanting so many other things. And there is a socio-religious requirement, which is very, very different from the original settlers' requirement. And that is clashing. And of course, there is economic circumstances also. There's a great disparity in that. And that is why the social structure is breaking. This man, woman, child drama, this will continue. This will take form like this because families will start breaking. They will all do this. And this, what you seen just now, is an effect of that. And that is why you will notice that entire Europe support to amongst the majority who follow radical Islam, the radical aspect of Islam, they will support Hamas. Willy-nilly, whether they support directly or indirectly is immaterial, but they will support. And let me tell you, a lot of financial support will also go. It is not so simple that Hamas can stand for last 5 years. They are building tunnels, 300 to 500 kilometers of tunnel in 50 kilometers of area. It's unthinkable at one time in Israel, but now it has happened. So I am sorry, this is going to continue until and unless there is some total renaissance in this thought process which takes place. Some leader comes up and now brings in a change. It will not happen.
Absolutely, sir. Ajay Jandyal, my colleague, is also with us on the program. Ajay, if you can hear me.
I can.
Ajay, it's going to be difficult for the Western countries to continue with their unbroken support for Israel on the back of a major humanitarian crisis brewing in Gaza at this point in time. But the fact of the matter is that why isn't there a protest against countries like Egypt or Jordan or Syria or Lebanon for that matter, which has blatantly refused to entertain these refugees?
Well, right after this, retaliation by the Israeli forces have started, and as our defense expert was already saying, that these, Islamic radicals, those who lives, across the world, they, stands, especially during the tough time. That indicates that if somebody is supporting Hamas and that they are supporting terrorism, that is something very serious, and not only to the limited area where they are living, but across the world, wherever they are protesting and saying that there should be a ceasefire. Where they were when Hamas terrorists, they entered the Israeli areas and they started targeting civilians. They brutally murdered and raped the females. Where they were. So that indicates that it is a pre-planned. There is a force who basically driving these protests all over the world wherever they are living, and that indicates that need to be taken care of by the authorities wherever these protests and support is taking place. Because if we have to deal and if world have to remain peaceful, these are the basic requirement has to be seen. As you said that not only in several areas, but these things are happening all across the world, a number of countries, and that is something very serious. We have seen that Washington, D.C., people, they are holding protests, and other than that, we have seen that from other countries these protests they are taking place, and they are asking for the ceasefire in Gaza. But basically, when this terror attack took place, at that time, no one was speaking, no one says, and no one even condemning that terror attack is something which should not happen, and that was wrong. But they are saying that ceasefire need to be done now. But why they are supporting it and terror system, those who are operating from Palestinian land, and Hamas is being funded by the many countries. That is something very serious. And as Defense Expert was saying that they have constructed tunnels. And why they have constructed tunnel? It means that it was a pre-planned attack, and they knew that they have to carry out this attack, and there must be some system who basically are now raising voices.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.